It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
Work on your list of whys. Here's what we learn. If the why is powerful, the how is easy.
You're going to realize it one day. That happiness was never about your job or your degree or being in a relationship. Happiness was never about following in the footsteps of all of those who came before you. It was never about being like the others. One day you're going to see it. That happiness was always about the discovery, the hope, the listening to your heart, and following it wherever it chose to go. Happiness was always about being kinder to yourself. It was always about embracing the person you were becoming. One day you will understand that happiness was always about learning how to live with yourself, that your happiness was never in the hands of others.
On yourself, you can make a fortune, which
Rome wasn't built in a day. Everyone hears that. Also, didn't fall apart overnight either. It took hundreds of...
The rules you live by were written by someone who stopped asking questions. So start rewriting it. The only limit is how deep you're willing to question what you've accepted as truth. They told you life works a certain way, but that's just code, and code can be rewritten.
Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't make you who you are. It is the rest of your story. Who you choose to be.
Maybe I should just quit and go back to making noodles.
Quit, don't quit. Noodles, don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be.
So, who are you, Panda?
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called a present.
Every time you are upset, or your children are upset, because of what somebody else says about them, including their peers, what you are really saying in that moment, and this is really important, what you're saying is, what you think of me is more important than what I think of myself. And you must never give anybody that kind of power and control over you, because they will always have it.
When you don't have money, you don't realize, like think about right now, if someone grabbed your throat and squeezed it, what would you think about? The only thing in the world. It's oxygen. What you don't realize is when money is lacking in your life, it focuses all the time. I would do that for my kids, but I can't. I'd love to take that vacation, but I can't. I'm sick of this unfulfilled job, but I can't. I'd love to be at every baseball game, but I can't. It all boils down to money. I don't care what anybody says. You have the money, you're in control of your decisions, you're in control of your calendar.
Hey, if I don't give y'all nothing else, you better start that. What's your why? You know why I do what I do and I do it so passionately? Because my grandfather was a high school dropout, my father was a high school dropout, I was a high school dropout, and we about to break the cycle. I do what I do so my son won't have to go through what I went through. I'm about to give everything I got, and I will know if I don't get another gig, it won't have anything to do with the fact that I didn't put everything on the field. What's your why? Why do you wake up in the morning?
Problem with the pursuit of happiness is that when life storms come along, happiness disappears, and then you're left with nothing. So you need to pursue something that's deeper than happiness. If happiness comes along, well then, hooray for you. You don't want to despise it because it's fleeting, but it's much better to pursue things that are meaningful than things that make you happy.
Who everyone underestimated. Too small, too quiet, too ordinary. But every day while they laughed, he worked. In the gym, in the books, in the shadows, he knew one truth. Effort beats talent when talent doesn't try. Years later, they asked him how he did it, and he just smiled, because they never saw the grind. It's the quiet hustle that makes the loudest impact.
The compound effect reveals the core essentials responsible for the success of every superachiever you will ever read about. This is the bottom, not doing 5,000 things really well. Success is doing about a half a dozen things really well 5,000 times.
At least it's frustrated and you feel stressed if you are not working your time on the things that you're supposed to do.
Whatever it is that you're pursuing to achieve or create or express in the world, I think a lot of people back out before that happens. The fact that you've been doing this for a world.
What are you gonna do, big guy? Sit on me? And why didn't you quit? You knew I was trying to get rid of you, yet you stayed.
Yeah, I stayed. I stayed because every time you threw a brick at my head or said I smelled, it hurt. But it could never hurt more than it did every day of my life just being me. I stayed because I thought if anyone could change me, could make me not me, it was you.
So, Oogway, this was the one destined to stop me?
A big, fat panda who treats it like a joke.
I probably sucked more today than anyone in the history of Kung Fu, in the history of China, in the history of sucking.
Probably